Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to this video. This one is a bittersweet video, so I'm just gonna keep it as transparent and clear as possible. I'm planning on leaving YouTube, or at least stopping the type of content that I have been putting out so far, such as regular weekly pick a card readings and month ahead zodiac readings plus the astrology of the month ahead. Instead, I might do some general purpose readings or general purpose, content, but just to be clear, I'm not leaving tarot and astrology. I'm just questioning YouTube as a platform. So I still have my Etsy, I have my own website as well. I have my WordPress for blogs if that's something you're curious about, and I also have my Pinterest. So there you can get some regular updates. We'll talk about that a little bit later down the line in this video. First, I'm going to tell you why I'm making this move. Number one is that YouTube is increasingly supporting only specific types of genres and videos, so the playing field is not level at all. Number two, in this niche of tarot and astrology, I have noticed that many people started around 2020, which is when I started as well, and there were three winners that came out of this. Ones who were posting every single day, ones who were posting multiple videos a day, and the third type who are posting love readings regularly. Nothing wrong with that if this is your general way of working, but for me it has been quite exhausting to keep producing constantly. I do that for eclipse videos and also month ahead zodiac readings, astrology readings, and that itself is quite exhausting. I have noticed many high-producing, high-performing tarot readers on YouTube who have burnt out and have stopped tarot entirely, and I don't want to go there. And if I burn out, I would be in no place to do justice to this line of work, and I of course cannot offer you any guidance because who am I then, right? And I would not want that for myself or you or for my clients. Plus, I also have many people in my life that I love and care about dearly, and I would like to be in a joyful state off camera as well, and that's kind of hard to do if I'm constantly on camera, right? Bottom line is that the type of work ethic that this platform and this niche requires me to be in consistently is just not my thing. I'm going to show you another thing. I missed one video in 2021, 1 week I did not post, and my exposure dropped right after that. And even after that, I continued to make a lot of efforts. I even posted more than I used to before, and yet it made no difference, as you can see from the analytics. I have worked on thumbnails, titles, SEOs, everything else that people talk about, such as, interlinking older videos with newer ones and whatever else you can come up with, but as you can see, it has had no effect. Now, my average view duration per video has increased, thank you so much for that, but regardless, my impressions on YouTube have remained the same, which is strange because recently YouTube has moved from number of views to promote their videos to the average view duration in order to promote certain videos. So another interesting thing to note is that I live in the Netherlands. Meanwhile, most of my viewers and subscribers come from different parts of US or India. Thank you so much for your support, by the way. But obviously, I would then want to post during the times that you're most active, right? So the interesting story is that YouTube has this feature of active times of viewers available, but it initially used to be available for channels who have 500 plus subscribers, and suddenly, at some point, they just randomly switched without notice to 1,000 plus subscribers. And at that time, I had like 550 or 600 subs. So the one advantage that I started to gain as a growing channel also was taken away from me. And I was back to just hitting and missing and just trying different things out like I was doing in the initial phase. And I'm still doing that, right? Because I've still not hit 1,000, so I'm still just like, okay, I remember this time worked. Maybe this one did not. I'm just going to try something here. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I feel like many of the videos just miss out on the exposure because the timing was not right. And the time zoning is not very intuitive for me because, yeah, it's just a very different parts of the world that I'm working with, right? So essentially, I'm working for a ghost of a boss in an American corporate structure under the guise of being an independent entrepreneur. If I wanted that, I would be in an American corporate structure working for a CEO that I've never met in my life. Now, there are some other reasons that are leading me to my decision. Number one is that YouTube does not translate into orders for me, and most of my income is coming from Etsy at the moment, and I prefer the detailed, personalized approach rather than a very global and generalized type of reading, because sometimes it feels like, okay, who am I talking to? I don't know if my advice makes sense, or is the feedback important here, or, what if they're looking for something else and I need to kind of fine tune the specific advice, guidance, or messages for your use case. I would like to keep doing personal readings, but it's kind of hard to do that on a public platform, right? It's inevitable that it gets a little bit spread out and thinned down, quite diluted, and I don't know how many people it helps, because again, that feedback is just not there. Even though YouTube is supposed to be such a community type of platform, supposedly, it's really not. And on top of that, astrology, tarot, zodiac readings, no matter what the niche is, tarot or astrology, is basically making 12 times the same video, right? So for me, I'm repeating the same information like 12 times. It takes 12 times longer to edit, and it gets a little bit dull and tiring after a bit. And especially when there's like either no feedback, or there is just no change in the analytics, no new people coming through. It's quite disheartening when there is like zero validation after you do like 12 times the effort. And video editing is really not my thing. I gave it a shot. I tried a couple of things, but it's just too time taking, and it's not as satisfying as I was thinking it would be. And while YouTube gives me such a meh feedback with, everything that I've showed you so far, my Etsy has stellar reviews, and from my personal readings that too. So there's like, I get a personal feedback. There are reviews on my website if you want to check them out, but I even get more feedback who don't put them as reviews, through people themselves talking about their personal experiences through the reading, after the reading, and so on. So I really don't get this whole contrast of feedback. Like it really shows that it has no comment on who I am as a person or my skill as a person over here on YouTube, sadly. And it kind of makes me feel like, am I just preaching? Is my advice helping somebody or not? Because with personal readings, I'm able to give you like pinpointed guidance on what's going on, what's your situation. You can really drill down, and I get really focused. I'm a triple fixed sign, so if I'm doing a reading, I'm all about you and your situation. I don't think about the dishes I have to do or the dinner I have to make or something like that, right? And I really enjoy that, and I find that people get a lot of value out of it. Meanwhile, on YouTube, it just feels a little bit superficial to me, even if I'm still focused and I want to be dedicated over here as well. The outcome of it feels like, yeah, whatever, right? Now, I know that YouTube and Etsy are not comparable. They're not the same type of platform. How can I even translate these two platforms? But I'm simply illustrating the points of what my experience has been. If you think of it from my perspective, it's just such a question mark, right? So I'm just trying to illustrate that. I'm not trying to compare the platforms objectively and whether you should do this or not do this, right? Okay, so you might ask, fine, if I hate YouTube so much that I'm complaining, then why did I join in the first place? So, I'm an engineer by education. I've mentioned that in many of my prior videos, and my career became majorly screwed in 2020 after my master thesis defense was unfairly scored. I passed, don't worry. I did not like engineering. I still don't like engineering. So, because 2020 was such a showdown, internally and externally, and everything fell apart, it kind of opened up my avenues to alternative ways of being and working, right? I never imagined myself to do anything else. I was never given the chance to imagine of anything else that I could do for my career. So I was grateful for 2020 in this way, that it opened up doors for me. So I had to figure it out, and I was like a completely blank canvas, and I'm like, I'm so lost that I don't even know anything. So naturally I was like, okay, I need to figure this out, and the only person who can help me out is me. So I did a lot of meditation, self-hypnosis, subliminals, manifestations, prayers. There was a point where I was just able to channel as well. I kind of stopped practicing that for a little bit there, but really I was kind of surprised and taken aback that I could so tangibly feel this other world. My intuition got heightened, and that's when I learned tarot and astrology to heal myself, help myself, kind of figure myself out. And I did not think that I would be helping others out through the same ways that I helped myself. But honestly, that's what I felt called to do, and so that's what I did. And I chose YouTube as a platform because, like I said, I have no background with content creation. I know nobody who does this. And so I didn't even know the ABCs of video making. No video editing, no camera, not mic, setups, tripods, backgrounds, nothing. Okay, like nothing. And I just knew of YouTube because I have used YouTube. So I thought, okay, if I make videos, I'm going to post on YouTube. Okay. I didn't know of that many alternative video platforms that were also accessible to many people. And my wish, my intent still is that I want to reach as many people as possible in order to deliver some useful guidance and help to them so that they can better their own lives. At least they have the knowledge and the resource that they require in order to make that happen in whichever way that they see fit. So then I started out with making YouTube videos with my laptop camera and mic, and I think if you've seen my oldest videos, I even had a background of a towel. Okay, not even a proper surface. I didn't have a table in my room. I was still a student living in a student house, so I really didn't have any surfaces to kind of work with. I put a cardboard box, I put a towel on it, and I worked with what I had. Okay, so I did not give up just because everything was not spick and span perfect. I just had to get started because I just have to. That was just the calling. I didn't know why. I was like, why is this urgency here? But I still did it anyway. And I persevered because I don't give up that easily. And I saw that glimpse of, the analytics rising. I'm like, yes, I'm going to be able to reach more people. Nice. And I can help more people as well. And there can be more feedback. I can do more videos that people are needing from me as well. And that can help even more people out, right? So I thought it was going to be that kind of spiral. And because of that glimpse, I had hope and I just kept on going. So I fell and tried many times. And that's why I'm making this whole video with so many reasons to back up my decision. I don't do anything trivially. And this decision as well is not very trivial because so far YouTube has been my principal place that I've been working and showcasing my skills. But, it is what it is. So what have I gained so far by being here for 3.5 years? Well, most prominently 780 plus subscribers, and while that does not sound like much, I'm still very grateful for that because it has all been organic, and you guys have come through YouTube, and I tried to not clickbait and everything. I did my research for sure. I searched for what keywords work and all of that, like the SEO stuff, but I was not trying to sell anything that was not real in the content. So I'm very grateful that you are here with me, and no matter whether you subscribed yesterday or 3 years ago, I'm honored to have been of service to you at some point in our connection. The second thing that I have gained through being here is communication confidence. I have been used to suppressing my voice since childhood. I've avoided being raw, passionate, intense, or even honest during times of delivering, difficult news and all of that, except with close friends. Well, that's always a different story, right? But on YouTube, then I kind of learned to start saying the truth, even if it might be a little bit hard to hear. And I realized that it's just a fine line, right? You can always say the truth, but it doesn't have to be rude or gruff or something, because probably it's something that someone needs to hear, right? So if I suppress my voice, I'm also suppressing someone else's progress through their personal life or through, the relevant insight that they need in their personal situation. By the way, tough news is inherently part of tarot and astrology because so much of this deals with your inner psyche, your shadows, blocks, inhibitions, fears, insecurities, all the stuff that we would rather push under the rug or to never have them ever and to avoid it, run away from, and all of that. So it's kind of a tender topic to begin with. So I had to develop that skill. I already had it, but I never knew of it unless I express it, right? Another thing I've learned is compassion. Now, like I said, with engineering, it's mostly logical, practical, rational. It's mostly about what has to be done, what needs to be done, what has the most funding, and, do the research in that way and push yourself in that regard. It's not so much about what you want to do or what makes sense for you at this time personally. So I learned to ignore my personal needs and desires along the way because it doesn't matter. That was the message, and I think if I go back to engineering now, I would still feel like the message is that, like, it doesn't matter what you want, stop talking, stop thinking, stop feeling, and just do what needs to be done because, yeah, that's just what needs to happen. But when I do personal readings or even your pick a card readings, I just get feelings from the cards, and it kind of sense, what the other person might be feeling or thinking. And when you put yourself in someone else's position, the empathy just rises. And I'm like, whoa, okay. And I saw so many questions. And, when I search what people look for in tarot readings as well, it's not always what you need to have at that time, but rather, what do you want to hear at that time? Or what is fun? Fun does not have to have logic and things like that. So I learned a lot through others, through all of you guys, and through Etsy as well, that sometimes it's okay to just do what you want and to express yourself as you want, and not because there has to be a logical reason to back it up. And that helped me find more compassion for myself as well, which then helps me be more empathetic towards my clients and towards you guys as well. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, that I'm not flawed or anything. Still am, still working on myself. We're all works in progress. But definitely showed me that just experiences and going through experiences can alone be enough to show us progress and to just, get us to our goals, even if that's not the original intention of why we're doing something. So what do I do now? Well, I've made my own website where you can make personal reading requests through the astrology section, or extensive astrology readings, or tarot readings, or get a personal consultation with me where I mix tarot and astrology. You can ask me any questions and we can go over them together via Zoom or Gmeet. You can subscribe for future offers with the Count Me In button. I'm still working on newsletters, so I will let you know when that is out. But if you subscribe already, you are going to get a whopping 50% discount on all products which are beyond 10 euros. And that is not going to be an offer that I will repeat ever again. It's just a launch discount that I'm giving. And the link to my website is in the description. I have my Etsy shop available as well as usual, from where you can order your readings. There are similar items with tarot and astrology, but I think you're going to get a lot more flexibility on my personal website. Consultations are not available here, but you can order a custom order request if that's something you're looking for through Etsy. The link for my Etsy shop is also in the description. Now, I prefer that you order through my website because you have a lot more flexibility of how you want to place your order. For example, there are some items which you can add on a recurring month-to-month basis and you can pay monthly installments, or you can pay annually, and I'm going to come to you every month with the reading that you are requesting. And even if there are some items that are not mentioning that option, you can still contact me and be like, hey, I want a love reading every month, or I want a career reading every month, and we can make that happen. You are also going to be exempt from paying taxes, okay? And a lot of the fees that you pay on Etsy is going to be for listing fees and other transport fees, dispatch fees, and whatnot. There are like so many other fees here and there that you are having to pay that I don't even receive, and that's kind of not fair because it hikes up the prices from what I'm listing to what you're actually paying, and I think that's unfair to you, and I don't want that. So on my website it's a lot more clear and transparent, and it's more conversational as well. I will link my WordPress down in the description as well, so you can check it out and binge whatever is there. And as I have mentioned earlier, you can definitely get your astrology updates through my Pinterest. That is also linked down below. And there is also some manifestation guides as well of each month when can you manifest and what could you manifest in those times. So I think I mixed tarot and astrology a little bit more liberally on Pinterest, so it's worth checking out. Plus, if you want to reach out to me personally, my email is in the description, as with all the other videos as well, so you can connect with me there and send me a request. And sometimes it can even be the case that I give you some custom pricing as well, depending on what you are needing as per your use case. So I think we can get in touch personally if you want. Now, as per the newsletters, I'm not really sure what exactly I'm going to present there. Of course, offers, discounts, all of that is going to be there, but I'm thinking week ahead astrology updates. That would be nice, because I think that's going to be relevant, because you can kind of see what your week ahead is going to be. I might add some, tarot tidbits here and there, just a general read of what's the vibe of the collective and all of that. I'm still figuring it out, so again, I'm not going to promise anything, but if you subscribe now, you're going to definitely get a glimpse of what's coming through next. So how you can place an order through my website is by clicking on the button order now, buy now, and you are going to be redirected to a form which you can fill, select what is relevant for you, fill up your details, and that is going to be submitted. I will send you an email after that with payment indicators, or in the case of consultations, certain times that work for both of us, and a Zoom or Gmeet link. We'll have some correspondence over there. And I also prefer this because, Etsy sometimes doesn't even send me an email that there is an order to be done, and many of my orders went overdue when this bug started. And, the customer support and all of that is just extremely slow and hopeless, honestly. So, not my thing. I think this is going to work out very well for both of us, so I hope to see you there.